Alright, welcome back to Crunch Time, the show where you get the best slate overview in under 1 hour, each and every day, 2 hours before slate starts, main slate. Today we have a nice massive 11-game slate, and I'm joined, as always, with Chris, aka chrissair DFS. How are you doing today?
First of all, we got to give a shout out to Trigga. I mean, Juancho went like, 11x? He called that the day before he called Chetty. He also went like 11x, so I'm excited to see who his lock is today. Just keeps on crushing with those picks, so we got to keep that rolling. As for this slate, we got some news on the Clippers that we got to navigate through. Don't know how that's going to go yet. It's the late game, so we probably won't know before lock, but yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that news, you're referring to Kawhi playing back-to-backs for the first time in how many years? Maybe playing,
like
right?
three years. So we were assuming that Kawhi would sit today, Paul George would play, but then 30 minutes ago we got news that Paul George is still questionable, and then Kawhi is not on the injury report today.
Yeah, so that's pretty big news. Yeah, Juancho did crazy well. I'm excited for Trigger's pick today as well. Should be a good one. I think he also called D'Lo as well, who had a nice bounce back performance. I think he went for 55 or something fantasy points on Fanduel, so he also crushed it. I think D'Lo was in the winning lineups at GPP contest, so another good pick there. Before we go over the first game, if you guys haven't already and you've been here before, be sure to like the video. That helps us out a lot with discoverability. And also hit the subscribe button and the bell button as well, so you get notified and stay up to date every time we go live. It's solid DFS content, all for free, so good place to hang out. Another one, more housekeeping. We had a nice GPP win from Weaver over in our Discord. I think he went, 15x on $7.50 entry, first place. That's always nice.
That's not housekeeping. He got $100 off of 5 cents, so that's definitely not housekeeping there.
I mean housekeeping before we get into the main content, but yeah, definitely not housekeeping. It's a good performance for sure. Do you know if that was tied? Anyone else tied first, or was that just a solo ship?
I'm not sure. I could probably pull it up, but it's still really nice regardless.
Yeah, really nice. I agree. Okay, first game. We can go over. We have Cleveland against Orlando. Let me just load that one up. 1 sec. Okay, we can go over Cleveland first. Injury and news there. We have Porter out, Garland out, Windler out, and Okoro probable. Matthew Dellavedova still out. Starters right now, we have Sexton, Dotson, Okoro, Nance, and Drummond. Any interest here today, Chris?
So this Cleveland team, they have an implied team total of 105 today. Obviously Garland's out, so Sexton's a decent play. the main guy here is on DraftKings, Andre Drummond. He's 8'6". He should see, I don't know, 36 minutes in a competitive game. Played 38 last game, which is really big. I think actually, maybe 32 actually. My bad, sorry. But it was a blowout, so if it's competitive, he should see his minutes raised up a bit. Just way too cheap on DraftKings. I like that a lot in cash and tournaments. Not as interested in him over on Fanduel. We have Clint Capela, who we'll mention later. Drummond is 9.5. It's just too expensive for me over on Fanduel. Sexton, I like him on both sides as a tournament option. No Garland means he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. Dotson, last guy I'll mention here, he should be starting 3.5 on Fanduel. I like that price tag, so yeah.
All right, next up we can go over Orlando. Injuries there, we have Fournier questionable, Carter Williams out, and Ennis probable. Starters right now we have Markelle Fultz, Fournier if he's in, Bacon, Gordon, Vucevic. Any interest on this side?
So Orlando, no, not really. Just we have an 11-game slate here. Same thing I always say when we go over these guys. We have to wait for Fournier news. Obviously, he's questionable right now. I think he's probably going to play today. He's been out for a while, I think, with a back injury. Should be healing up soon. Vucevic, he's someone I always like to play as the last piece. Like, he's not going to get you 30. He's probably not going to get you 60, but he's always in that 45 to 50 range. So always nice. Always goes a little under-owned. So don't mind him if you want him as a last piece. Markelle Fultz, he's all right. His play has sort of been trending downwards since the start of the season, but he's still getting around 30 minutes, so that's good. In this nice matchup against Cleveland, it's a pretty low total, only 214, so not too much interest, but there's probably a few guys you could use as last pieces.
Definitely. Quick comment from Trigger for a game where you haven't gone over yet. If Reggie Bullock is out, I'm locking in quickly.
Yeah, I do like quickly a lot. I think he had a pretty nice game last time out. Played 18 minutes only, but he got 25. I think if Bullock is out, obviously his minutes will go up. He's looked good. Kentucky Wildcat, I always like them, so yeah, I'm a fan.
Okay. Next game we have Philadelphia against Washington. We can go over Philadelphia first. Mike Scott out. Let me load up the starters. Okay, starters we have Simmons, Curry, Harris, Green, Embiid. Any interest in the Sixers today?
Yeah, so this is actually the highest over-under on the slate, but these guys are pretty expensive, so for that reason, I don't think it's going to be very popular. So I think this is probably my favorite game for tournaments today. Just think it'll go under-owned. Highest total, as I mentioned, so that's nice. As for individual pieces on this Wizard side, yeah?
Yep. No, Philadelphia.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Philadelphia. So yeah, they have the highest implied team total, 120 right now. 6.5 point spread, so should remain competitive. Someone like Embiid, I like him a lot. I think he can flash a ceiling here. Simmons as well. High-paced matchup against the Wizards. Only 8.7 over on FanDuel, so I do like that price tag. 8.8 on DraftKings, I also like that. So Simmons, I really like him in tournaments. Embiid as well. Just because we know they're going to be the main guys who score for them, who have the ball in their hands. In previous games, we've had the Sixers go up against some slow-paced teams like the Hornets, Magic, Raptors. So it's finally a really good matchup here against the Wizards. So yeah, I do like those two guys up top in tournaments if you want to go there. I think they have a really high chance to hit their ceiling today.
Any reason why this game you said might be under-owned? Or they're just better plays than the other ones?
Yeah, there's just cheaper plays elsewhere. Yeah, these guys are pretty expensive.
Okay. Wizards side, we have no new news there. Westbrook starting, Beal starting, Danny Avdija starting, Hachimura starting, and Bryant starting. Any interest on this side?
So same sort of thing as the Sixers. If I'm touching anyone here, it's the guys up top. It's Westbrook, it's Beal. I think Beal is probably a little too expensive for me here. 10K on FanDuel, 9K on DraftKings is better, but probably tournament only for me. Westbrook is probably the main guy that stands out here in this matchup. Obviously, he always has like a floor of 50. upside for more if he's hitting his shots, if he's getting steals and blocks. So I do like Westbrook in tournaments. He's expensive, but this game environment is really good. Has a chance to be the highest scoring game of the slate. Someone else I'll mention here is Bertans. Played 30 minutes last game. That was the season high, so that's trending upwards. If he's hitting his shots, he can break a slate for you. So I do like Bertans a lot as well. They're probably going to need him to stay in the game because they're going to be playing from behind, so they'll need his 3-point shooting. So I do like Bertans a lot here today.
Okay. Quick comments in the YouTube chat. Trigger loves Embiid today, and then Hasty saying quickly looked good last night.
Yeah, quickly. I think he played 2 nights ago, but yeah, he looked really good in his minutes. He actually ended the game over Elfrid Payton, so that's pretty good. I'm not really too big of a fan of Elf, so yeah, I like quickly.
Yep. Okay. Big slate today, so let's try to get through it fast so we can go through the core plays. Next game we have Houston at Indiana. On the Houston side, injuries and news, we have Daniel House out, Kenyon Martin Jr. out, Mason Jones out, Christian Wood questionable, Cousins probable, and McLemore out. Starters right now we have Wall, Harden, Nwaba, Tucker, and Wood if he's in. Lots of, I guess, news here on the Houston side. What do you think is going to happen here?
I mean, it's the first game of the night, so we just have to wait. There's no reason to speculate when we don't need to. We're going to know before lock, so just no reason to speculate on that. Harden, someone who obviously has a really high ceiling. He's going to go under-owned. We have other guys to pay up for today, so I do like him in tournaments. John Wall, don't mind him. Price went up a little bit. I think he got into foul trouble last game, so if you're just looking at the game log, I think that's why. He played poorly. I like the price tag of 7-4 over on DraftKings. I don't mind that in tournaments. And then another guy I'll touch on here is David Nwaba. He should be starting 3.5K over on DraftKings. I don't mind that in cash as a last piece if you need it, but yeah, not someone I'm going out of my way to get.
Yep. Comments in the chat. Juancho was a good call last night from Hasty, and then Trigger follows up saying Juancho and Chetty just had that dog in them.
Yeah, I guess they do, yeah.
They do? Yeah. Question from Cody, favorite center. Well, I'm not sure what site that is for.
So I think it's
Fanduel.
Drummond on DraftKings, and then on Fanduel, I think it's Clint Capela.
Okay, and then question from Thomas. Boogie cheap in cash games if Crucifix is out, Fanduel.
If who is out?
Christian Wood.
Yeah, so I think Boogie played 3 minutes last game. He got ejected, put up 13 points in 3 minutes, so obviously he's a really good point per minute guy. I have the sun glaring in my face right now, so that's not too nice. But yeah, I do like Boogie in this spot here tonight, especially if Wood is out. Everyone's gonna have Boogie. He's probably gonna be 100% if Wood is out.
Yeah, it's probably yeah. Okay, Indiana side. How do you say this guy's name? Gogo Bidets?
Just Goga, but he doesn't matter. If Turner and Sabonis are in, he's not seeing the floor.
Irrelevant. Okay,
probably on the G League.
Okay, starters then we have Brogdon, Holiday, Oladipo, Sabonis, Turner. What do you think of Oladipo so far this season? How's he performing? Better than you thought? Worse than you thought? As you thought?
He's pretty good. So the main thing is that TJ Warren went out. So if TJ Warren is out, Oladipo has the ball in his hands a lot more. So obviously he's going to look better this year. Price tag is fair for him. 7-2 on FanDuel, 7 on DraftKings. It's tournament only for me, but this game could shoot out. It's obviously against the Rockets, so that's a good matchup. But the main guy here is Sabonis. He's on our cover today. That means I like him. So I think he's 8-9 over on FanDuel, 9-2 on DraftKings, so just way too cheap for him. In this matchup, I don't think anyone on the Rockets can guard him. He's just going to bully Christian Wood if he's in. Cousins might be a bit tough for him, but I still really like Sabonis here. Assists well, rebounds well, scores well, just does everything we like in DFS. So I like him in both formats today, both sites. Brogdon, Brogdon, he's probably a little too expensive for me. He's coming off some really big games. He's seen 41 minutes and then 45 minutes in an OT game, so the minutes are nice, but I just think we're spending too much for that for him today. And then another guy I'll touch on here for value in cash games, specifically on DraftKings, Justin Holiday. He's 4K, played heavy minutes last time out with their guys out, so I do like him in cash games as a last piece on DraftKings.
Okay, we load up the next game. I think we have some comments about yesterday's hockey game, and also Miles Turner hitting a 3-point to send it to overtime. Hasty's wondering if you saw the Miles Turner 3 to send it to OT.
No, I didn't see it, but I saw it on the box score. I didn't like that, actually. There was some... I didn't have anyone from that game, so I didn't like that.
Yeah, and then, USA won yesterday in the hockey game. Were you watching that one?
Yeah, I think it was 2-0. Like, Canada was favored. Like, they were like minus 300, so pretty surprising that USA pulled off that upset.
Yeah, Hasty's kind of upset. He says, don't mention it. Hasty also thinks Sabonis is going to smash tonight. Definitely in a good position. Okay, next game we have Boston at Miami. Let's see if okay, good. Boston side we have Javonte Green out for them. Smart questionable, Teague questionable. Starters right now we have Smart, Brown, Tatum, Tice, Thompson. So it looks like Smart will probably play today.
Questionable, so we don't know. Same as Jeff Teague, so we'll just have to wait for the news. This game starts 30 minutes after lock, so probably should know by the 2:30 update in 15 minutes, the injury report that the NBA sends out, so we'll probably know by then. If they're both in, no interest here. If they're both out, go back to Pritchard, I guess. He got a little bit of a price bump, but, I mean, he's still probably a little too cheap. And then, obviously, Jason Tatum. He was actually moved to small forward on Fanduel, so that's nice, not power forward anymore. I do like him a lot in tournaments and cash games. Only 9K on DraftKings, 9.4 on Fanduel, so that price tag stands out for me. I think he has a ceiling. He could have a ceiling game here, like 50, 55 points easily. Like, he just has the ball in his hands so much, shoots a ton of shots, rebounds, assists, everything. He does everything well, so I like Tatum a lot.
Okay. Okay, next up we have Miami here. Harkless questionable, Vincent probable. Starters right now we have Butler, Hero, Duncan Robinson, Kelly O, Canada, and Bam Adebayo. Any interest here?
Not much for me here. So I think Butler is kind of interesting in tournaments. Like, his game log has looked awful. I think he had like 25 or 30 fantasy points at the half last game, and then in the third quarter it just blew out, so he didn't get his full run. So I do like Butler a lot. In tournaments specifically, no one's going to have him. I like that. Tyler Hero, sorry. He's okay. Should see around 30 minutes. He assists well. Like, he's their main ball handler on the court for most times. He's pretty cheap. So I don't hate him as a last piece. That's probably it for this team. Kelly Olynyk got the start last time out, so if you want to go back to him if he's starting, I don't mind that. But he also got a price bump, so yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to touch anyone here too much other than Butler in tournaments.
Yeah. Comment on Ben Simmons' defense. Josh is saying if you put him in the Capitol building, no one's getting in there. And then Henry is saying that Kelly O is having a smash game today.
Oh, that comment's so funny. Oh my god. Kelly O, yeah, I don't know about Kelly O.
You don't think he's gonna have a smash game?
No.
Okay, let me load up the next game. I think it's Charlotte, Atlanta. Hope you put on some sunscreen today, Chris. That sun is up in your face.
I think it's getting a little better. I can close my curtain, but I think it should be gone in a few minutes.
Kidding. Okay, next up, Charlotte, Atlanta. Charlotte side first. Richards out. Nick Richards, I've never heard of him. Do you know him, Chris?
I mean, if you've never heard of them, there's no need to mention them.
Okay, just in case. Graham starting, Rozier starting, Hayward, PJ Washington, and Bismack Biyombo. Any interest on the Charlotte side today?
Yeah, so we still have LaMelo Ball over on DraftKings, only 6K. That's really nice. he's looked really good. He seems to have taken the minutes from Devontae Graham. So if you're building and you want to set up a group that only includes one of them in each lineup, that's something I would do. So yeah, he's been playing 30 minutes. Like, he's looked really good, doing everything on the stat sheet. So I do like him a lot over on DK. Grading out to be almost a lock for me in cash games over there. On Fanduel, he's 6'9". That's just way too expensive for me. We have other pieces that will target at the point guard position over LaMelo, so don't love him on Fanduel. But just for that reason, he's probably going to go under-owned over on Fanduel. So if you're playing tournaments, I don't mind that. Gordon Hayward, like, this is a really good matchup against the Hawks. This game will probably stay close, probably be high scoring. So he could get there. It could be Rozier. It could be Devontae Graham. So I do like having at least maybe one piece from this game in tournament lineups, just because it's a really good matchup here. Yeah, so just like 114 implied team total, 232 over under. So it looks like a really good game to target, but it's probably going to be under-owned.
Yep. Hasty likes Hero against the Celtics today, and Trigger likes Gordon Hayward today.
Yeah, so one last guy I forgot to mention is PJ Washington. He's 5'2" on FanDuel, 5K on Draftkings. So that price tag stands out from a cash game perspective if you need him as a last piece. Yeah.
Okay, let's go over Atlanta. Injuries there. We have Rondo still out, Okongwu out, Bogdanovich probable, and then Snell out for them. Starters, we have Young, Reddish, Hunter, Collins, Capella. Any interest in the Hawks?
Yeah, so a lot of interest in the Hawks. They're tied for the highest team total here with the Sixers, I believe, at 120. So a lot of interest here. I think Trae Young's going to go under-owned, so I like him a lot in tournaments. 9-4 over on FanDuel. He can absolutely smash that price tag. A little more on DraftKings, 9-6, but I do like him there for tournaments as well. The main guy that really stands out for me here in cash games is John Collins. He's 6'8 on FanDuel, 7'2 on DraftKings. So the Hornets, they usually play like two bigs, sort of. They play Biyombo at the 5 and then PJ Washington at the 4. So it's a pretty good matchup for the Hawks bigs here. They both should see, I don't know, 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes apiece. So I like John Collins a lot. And then Clint Capela, 6'5 on FanDuel, 6'7 on DraftKings. I think that's way too cheap in this matchup. His minutes have been trending upwards. He's seeing at least 30 per game in the last 3. So we obviously know he has a bunch of block upside. He rebounds well, gets a bunch of dump-offs. So I do like Clint Capela a lot. And then the rest of these guys like Hunter, Bogdanovich, Reddish, they're probably more tournament plays. I wouldn't play more than one of them in a single lineup, but yeah.
Yeah, Hasty saying Collins is going to eat today, and Clint is a steal. His price. Trigger is bringing up Miles Bridges. Any comment on Bridges?
Bridges is all right. Let me see how many minutes he's been getting. So his minutes have actually been trending downwards, but he had that ceiling game against Dallas, 44 fantasy points. So it's not the worst play, but it's not someone I love today. And then Collins is going to eat. Clint is a steal. Yeah, I think you can play both of them in the same lineup today just because they're so cheap.
Okay, let's go into the next game. We have Utah Jazz against the Knicks. We can do Utah first. Injury news there. We have Morgan out, Brantley out, and Favors probable. Starters, we have Conley, Mitchell, Bogdanovich, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert. Any interest in the Jazz?
No, I have no interest here. Back end of a back-to-back. They didn't look good yesterday. Their prices are all like as they should be. Their price stop even. So I have no interest in the Jazz here tonight.
Fade the Jazz?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Then we have the Knicks here. Lots of news here. Dennis Smith Jr. probable. Frank Ntilikina out. Obi Toppin still out. Knox probable. Spellman probable. Noel and Bullock both questionable. Starters, we have Peyton Barrett, Bullock, Randall, and Robinson. Any interest in the Knicks? Or, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously we have to wait on the news to see if Bullock is in. If he's out, as Trigger mentioned, I like Quickly. And then obviously that would help Barrett a bit more. Barrett has been playing crazy minutes, just like Randall, so I do like both of them in tournaments. I think Barrett is actually a really good play in cash games, just because of that minutes floor. Should see at least like 40, which is pretty crazy to say. Has upside for even more minutes, and then his fantasy points probably has a floor of 30 if he's playing that many minutes. So I like RJ a lot. I like him on Fanduel 6.5. I like that price in cash games. Sort of makes things work. Yeah, and then Randall, he's probably tournament only for me, just because he's priced around 9K now. Tough matchup against the Jazz, so I like him more on FanDuel, 9K compared to 9.5 on Draftkings. That's probably the only guy I'll mention here.
Okay, some comments. Utah looked pathetic last night from Trigga. Hasty saying that he likes Randall under 10K. Do you think we'll ever see Randall at 10K?
He's trending that way. He's looked really good this year. Just like with the minutes that he's getting, he has the ball in his hands so much. It definitely wouldn't be surprising if he passes the 10K mark.
Yeah. So you do like him under 10K as well?
I don't like him in this matchup really against the Jazz, but if he was playing the Wizards, he would probably be around 10K.
Okay. And then Trigger saying Dennis Smith Jr. needs to be sent into space.
Yeah, he's awful.
27, 12, 7 Randall. Stat line today, I'm guessing. Hasty got a good stat line last time on Pritchard.
Yeah, I do like Randall, yeah. But like I said, I like him a little more on FanDuel, 9K.
Okay. Next up, we have Detroit at Milwaukee. On the Detroit side, for news injuries, we have Josh Jackson questionable for them and Blake Griffin back in. Starters right now, we have DeLon Wright, Jackson, Grant, Griffin, and Plumlee. Any interest here?
So the big news here is that Killian Hayes is out. I think he had something with his hip, like same as the Isaiah Thomas injury. So we'll have to see who starts for him. He's looked completely awful this year. Like, I expected bigger things from him, but he's just looked horrible. Not shooting well, turning the ball over a lot. So hopefully he can get right, but he's out today with the injury. Josh Jackson questionable, as you mentioned. We'll have to wait on that news. If he's out, bump up guys like Sadiq Bey. Obviously, he had a bad game last time out. I just want to mention, like, Dwayne Casey, absolutely horrible coach. Like, for some reason, DeLon Wright played 9 minutes last game when I think Jackson was out. Like, a bunch of guys were out. He only played DeLon Wright 9 minutes. That was just awful to see. Jeremy Grant, if you want to play him in tournaments, I don't mind that. He's been playing a bunch, shooting a bunch, so I like that in tournaments. He's not going to get much ownership just because it's a tough matchup against the Bucks here. Outside of him, Derrick Rose in tournaments, you could take some shots on him. He's looked decent, but the thing with him is always about minutes. If he's starting for Killian Hayes, like, he's going to be in a smash spot here, just because he's too cheap for what he does. But if he sees around 24 minutes like he has this season, I don't love him. So yeah, that pretty much does it with the Pistons here.
Okay. Weaver confirmed in the Discord that he did split this one here, so he was tied for first, I think, one other way probably. And some questions we have: DeLon Wright will smash if Casey plays him from Trigger, and follow up from Trigger on that is Casey Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, those two things kind of contradict each other, because if Casey was a good coach, I think he would probably play DeLon Wright more. Well, at least I would. I really like DeLon Wright's game, but yeah, we can't really trust Dwayne Casey in DFS.
And then Henry in YouTube saying D Rose dominates usage.
Yeah, so that's why I like him in tournaments. Like, he always has upside for a huge game. The downside is the minutes, of course. If he only sees 24, that kind of limits the ceiling opportunity. So if he's starting, I like him a lot. If he gets 30 minutes somehow here, I like him a lot.
Okay, and then one other thing from Hasty about this game. He's asking if the offense is going to run through Plumlee without Killian.
Well, Blake is in there now, so that kind of hurts Plumlee. Rose as well. He gets a bunch of usage, so it will slightly go through Plumlee. He always seems to, like, have some nice passes. Assist rate is usually nice for Plumlee, so I don't mind him. But But yeah, not one of my favorite centers today. I think we have Capela around the same price, and I like that a lot more.
Okay, and Hasty's also saying that Drew is going to lock up Rose tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I like Rose in tournaments. He has upside, but yeah, if you think Drew can lock him up, then definitely don't play him.
Okay, one more comment before we go into Milwaukee. Thomas over on YouTube is saying that Plumlee is a homeless man's version of the Joker, Jokic.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, he learned that he was playing behind Jokic for a few seasons, so that helped him learn. But yeah, he's definitely. I don't even know if homeless man is the right term. It's probably something worse than homeless man.
Okay. Milwaukee side, we have Merrill out. I don't know who that is. Sam Merrill. And Connington also out for them. Starters, we have Holiday, Dante, Middleton, Giannis, and Lopez. Any interest in Milwaukee?
Not too much here. Probably tournament only. They have a really high team total, 119, so I think that's third highest on the slate. If it stays close, Giannis will probably be the one crushing. So I like him a lot in tournaments. Probably going to go under-owned, just because people will be scared of the blowout here. Drew Holiday, you can take some shots on him. Don't love it. Bobby Portis as well. He's looked all right. So you can take some shots on him. But yeah, not too much here outside of Giannis.
Okay. I saw some news here. They're confirming no discussion to postpone any games on Wednesday as a result of the events in Washington. Do you think any of the games are going to get postponed potentially?
No, I didn't even think of that. And then if they said no discussion, then we're probably good.
Okay. Let me load up the next one. We have OKC against Milwaukee. One sec.
We're getting a lot of talk on Sam. I think his name is Sam Merrill. I guess he was a college stud. I've never personally heard of him. So I guess maybe once he starts playing, he'll be on my radar. But I've never heard of him.
Yeah, I see that talk. Okay, we can go over. Let me open up the news. We can go over Oklahoma news first. We have Ty Jerome out for them, and then that 7 foot whatever, like European skinny player. I don't know how to say his name. He's also still out. Starters, we have SGA, Hill, Dort, Baisley, and Horford. Any interest in OKC?
No, I have no interest here. SGA has looked awful. It's really surprising to me. I thought he would have a breakout year here. They've been in some blowouts, so that's partly to do with it. This game has an 8-point spread. OKC has looked really bad, so I don't love it. If you want to take some shots on SGA in tournaments, I guess I don't mind it. Obviously, he has some upside if the game can stay close. But we have the lowest total of the slate here. Sorry, at 213, pretty big spread. So yeah, I have no love for anyone here.
Okay. New Orleans side, Thornwall out. Starters, we have Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, Ingram, Williamson, and Adams. Any interest there?
So on this Pelicans side, same sort of thing. Like as I mentioned, we have the lowest total of the slate here, so no one's really going to stand out for me. One guy I actually want to mention on the Thunder is George Hill, 4.5K on DraftKings. I don't mind that price tag as a last piece, and then also SGA's 7.3 on DraftKings. I missed that, so I do like that actually in cash games. I think he could be used at 7.3 with no problems. And then yeah, on the Pelican side, Ingram and Zion, like that's where it ends for me. I think these guys are really good. I don't love the matchup today, but obviously Ingram always has a ceiling, as I always say when we go over the Pelicans. Zion, he hasn't looked great. Finally had a decent game last time out, so I don't mind him, but they're probably tournament only for me.
Okay, quick comment from Trigger. He's saying Baisley's still too cheap.
I think, what is he now, 6K on Fanduel?
Yep. 5.8 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I don't mind it in tournaments, but not someone I love.
Okay, and then Hasty's wondering if Dort is going to guard Ingram.
Um, I would assume so, but I don't think it'll make too much of a difference.
Okay,
Like
and then
I'm not
more.
really a big fan of judging off of individual matchups. I think more of it has to do with like team defensive schemes.
Okay, and then one more comment from Hasty. He's commenting that Zion lost all his hops.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know how you judge that, but yeah. What do you think about that?
I haven't watched him closely this year, so I'm not sure. I need to watch some Pelican games. But I'll take Hasty's word for it. He had that. Yeah, he was out for a while. He hadn't. Yeah. Have you watched him play?
Yeah, I have, but I haven't really seen that. He's lost his hops. He doesn't look good though. He lost some weight, so that was nice to see. He actually started off the season really well, but yeah, I don't know.
Hasty's following up. He's saying his knees are weak. Squeaker dunks only.
Squeaker dunks?
Yeah, squeaker dunks.
I mean, yeah, he probably knows better than us on this topic.
Okay, next up we have Phoenix, or Toronto at Phoenix. On the Toronto side, we have McCaw out, and then let me load up the starters here. Yeah, Trigger seems to agree with the Hasty comments on Zion. Back to the starters.
Only?
Yeah. In Toronto, we have Lowry starting, Fred VanVleet, Anunoby, Siakam, and Baines. Yeah, I guess I'll comment because I'm a Raptors guy. Siakam hasn't looked good this year at all, but VanVleet is definitely worth the money he got. Like, I think he deserved that paycheck for sure. He's performing well. What do you think of the Raptors today?
So I think it was like 4 nights ago. They were playing the Celtics. They were favored by like 5 for some reason, and I said I would definitely take the like money line on the Celtics there. Celtics beat them. The Raptors look awful. No one that I want to touch here. They're all priced up. Just they look like an awful squad. I think they're 1-6 right now, so hopefully they're tanking for a good pick. Maybe Cade Cunningham in the upcoming draft, but yeah, definitely nothing here that interests me.
Yep. Hey, Steve, back onto the Zion comments. He's saying old knees recognize bad knees. VanVleet is the real thing from him. And then Pritchard will be VanVleet in 3 years.
Pritchard is going to be more of a, I don't know, maybe like a Pat Bev type of player, TJ McConnell. I don't know if he's going to hit the Freddie level.
Okay. And then let's go over Phoenix. We have Nader out and Nader probable and Smith questionable. Starters right now, we have Chris Paul, Booker, Bridges, Crowder, and Ayton. Any interest in Phoenix against the Raptors today?
Definitely more interest than the Raptors side, but like I always say when we go over the Suns, they all like spread the ball around. They have they're a 3-headed snake with Paul, Booker, and Ayton, so you don't know who's going to get there for them, but their prices are kind of nice. Booker is 7-9 on DraftKings, 7-6 on Fanduel. I don't mind that if you want to take some shots in tournaments. Same as Ayton, around 7-3. Chris Paul around 7K. So I don't mind these guys in tournaments. Probably wouldn't play any of them in the same lineup, but I think one of them could hit their ceiling here.
Okay. Just saw confirmation that Noel is out today. Also, Christian Wood. Comment there that he's questionable today as well. Game time decision.
Still questionable?
Yeah, I just got another tweet on that one.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see on that. Obviously, if he's out, we'll have to jam Cousins in.
All right, let me load up the next game. Chicago at Sacramento. Okay. We can do Chicago first. Injuries there. Markkanen, Satoransky, Arcidiakono, and Hutchinson all still out with the COVID. I think they're coming back. Was it next game or the game after that for them?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but they are out today. That's all I know.
Starters, we have Kobe White, Levine, Porter, Williams, and Carter. They went into... Wait, did they go OT yesterday? Almost OT or something?
No, they didn't go OT.
It was a close game, though, right, against Portland?
Yeah, and on that game, I also said It was like Portland favored by 9. I was like, you should take the Bulls as 9.5 point dogs, and yeah, they actually won the game, so that's nice. I'm 2 for 2 so far on my betting advice on the spreads. Hopefully, maybe I'll give another one out later today.
Do you have one now in mind?
No, I don't. I only comment when I like see something egregious, but yeah, nothing I've seen today.
Okay. Trigger saying I think this is the best game for him. He likes this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, did you go over who you like in Chicago?
No, did you go over the starters yet?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, this is a really nice game. Pretty high total here. Spread is 7, so that's pretty big, but it's not anything we should really worry about. There's a lot of pieces here that stand out for me. I think there are better plays on Fanduel here. Kobe White, 6'2". I like that price tag a lot. He's shooting around 20 times per game. Playing pretty heavy minutes as long as he stays out of foul trouble. Same thing with Zach LaVine. I like him a lot. He's chucking as he normally does. He actually put up 8 assists yesterday, which was pretty surprising. Maybe 9 assists, actually. So that was pretty nice. He played 43 minutes. They're on the back end of a back-to-back here, so maybe he'll be limited a tiny bit, but I still expect him to see at least 36 here. And then Otto Porter, another guy specific to FanDuel, 5.6K. I like that price tag a lot. Obviously, they have these guys out, Markkanen, Satoransky, Hutchison. So that bumps up Otto, gives him a little bit of a safer minutes floor. So I do like him. Wendell Carter, last guy I'll touch on FanDuel as well, 4.9K. Tournament only for me, but I do think he has some upside if he can stay out of foul trouble. The thing with him always seems to be that he's handsy. He always gets into foul trouble, so I don't mind him in tournaments today over on FanDuel.
Okay. Comment from Hasty saying Bagley and Fox's dads have been hilarious lately. Do you know about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what happened, but I think they're saying trade Bagley or something. Maybe Bagley's dad is saying trade Fox. Maybe Ryan could give us a quick summary of what's been going on.
Yeah. Okay. While we wait on Hasty to tell us about that, let's go over Sacramento side of things. Jabari Parker out. Last time I brought him up, you said who? You were surprised he's still in the league. And then Halliburton still questionable. Starters, we have Fox, Hield, Barnes, Bagley, and Holmes. Any interest in Sacramento?
Yeah, so they have an implied team total of 118. That just means we'll have interest in some of these guys. I think they're better plays on FanDuel as well, just with the pricing. So Darren Fox, only 7.8 on FanDuel. Like, that's just too cheap in this matchup against the Bulls. He should absolutely smash that price tag. He has upside for 50, 55 fantasy points. Has a pretty good floor as well, so I do like him a lot. He's probably one of my locks over on FanDuel. And then Buddy Hield, also someone we always like to mention over on FanDuel. He's 5'2", probably around the 6'5" range over on DK.
6'6".
Yeah, 6'6". So he's always too expensive on DK, but always too cheap on FanDuel. So I do like the price tag of 5'2" in cash games. And then Marvin Bagley. This one, it kind of hurts to say, but 4.8 on FanDuel, like against the Bulls here. If he's starting as he has been, I don't mind him for 4.8K in cash games as a last piece, but definitely not someone who I love targeting. More of a last piece.
Yep. Hasty saying Holmes is a hard worker, blue collar type of guy.
Yeah, I had him in my lineup last time they played. Got into quick foul trouble, played 18 minutes, got 9 fantasy points, so that was pretty ugly. He's one of those guys who always seems to not get there for me when I roster him, so I'm not too big of a Holmes fan.
Okay. Yeah, Hasty confirmed it was Dad's asked for trades on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, next game and last game, we have the Clippers against Golden State. Let me just load that up. Okay. We can go over the Clipper news first. Marcus Morris questionable, Kawhi Leonard probable, Paul George questionable. So that's definitely really important stuff to keep an eye on. Starters right now, we have Beverly, George, Leonard, Batum, Ibaka. What do you think is going to happen here? How do you navigate around this today?
I mean, so earlier on in the day, I thought Paul George would play just because he didn't play yesterday, and then Kawhi would sit because he played yesterday. But then around an hour ago, we got news that Paul George is questionable today and Kawhi is not on the injury report. So pretty surprising that Kawhi is not on the injury report today. So like he hasn't played a back-to-back since 2016. So if he does today, that's pretty interesting. Obviously, if Paul George is out, load up on Kawhi. If he's in, should absolutely smash like he did yesterday. He put up like 58 fantasy points. So I do like Kawhi if Paul George sits, and then if Kawhi sits for some reason, I like Paul George if he's in. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. It's hard to comment on these guys without knowing who's in and who's not.
Okay. Hasty saying Bagley is practically a bust. No other team will give him what Sacramento has. Funny to ask for a trade.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's hard because he's looked so bad. His value is at an all-time low. So if you're Sacramento, you don't really want to trade him now, but you also want to trade him just because he's looking awful. So it's a tough situation for sure.
Yep. Okay, Golden State side of things, no new news there. We have Curry starting, Oubre, Wiggins, Green, Wiseman. It's supposed to be a close game today. Is it supposed to be a close game even with George and Kawhi if they're both in? So Golden State's looking a bit better now.
Yeah, with Draymond back in, they look really good. 2.5 point spread here favoring the Clippers right now. Over under pretty high, 230, third highest on the slate. So this is a really good game to target, but obviously it's tough with the Clipper news. But on this Warriors side, Curry, he's looked great recently. I don't mind paying up for him in both formats, really. He's shooting the ball a ton, rebounding and assisting well, so everything looks good for Steph. And then guys like Wiggins, guys like Oubre, they're more last pieces for me. The only way they really get there is if they play the minutes. Oubre finally found his shot last time out, so that's encouraging to see. He's still priced at 5.3, which is pretty nice over on Fanduel. I don't mind that in cash games even. And then I like James Wiseman as well, 4.8. If he can stay out of foul trouble, he can absolutely crush. But it seems like every game since the very first one, he's been in foul trouble, which is pretty bad to see. But he's still a rookie, so I think he'll learn as he goes.
Yeah, definitely. Hasty commenting on the Bagley draft pick ahead of Trey and Luka. Trigger saying Pat Bev cost him tournaments. Dude decided to score 50. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, so I had Pat Bev in my shell lineup earlier today when I thought that Paul George would play and Kawhi would sit, but now I just don't have any Clippers. It's hard to navigate without knowing. But yeah, Pat Bev, I think he went like 6 for 9 from 3, so he actually kept them in the game, which is pretty nice. But yeah,
Triggers, he thinks that Kawhi's gonna sit today.
He thinks. Yeah, I mean, we got the news that he wasn't on the injury report, so that's the only reason I think he plays today.
Yep. Okay, we can go over some of your core plays. Let me just refresh that. Before I do that, if you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to like the video. That helps us out a lot with people finding us out. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified every time we go live. It's 2 hours before main slate every day. It's solid, free DFS content, so it's a good place to hang out. Ask questions, ask about roster construction, all that sort of stuff. Let's go over FanDuel first, Chris. Who's your first core play?
So we talked about this guy, Darren Fox, 7.8 on FanDuel. I think that's too cheap. Really good matchup against the Bulls, so he's my first score play. Next up, we have Buddy Hield from the same game. Always like to target guys from the Kings and always like to target guys playing against the Bulls. So I like both of those things. And then 5.2, it's too cheap for how much he shoots. So I do like that price tag. And then next up, I think we can go with John Collins. He's 6.8K. So I like that as well against the Hornets. Just too cheap. We have him projected for 37.5, so that definitely stands out to me. And then lastly, we can go with RJ Barrett. Just 6.5K, playing 40-plus minutes. We're still waiting on the Bullock news, I believe, but even if he's in, I do like that price tag for Barrett.
Okay. Let me just double check the settings. I think they're all good. 20 or 10?
10.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions as well, we can go over them now. Hasey's asking no Randall.
Yeah, no Randall for me today. Alex Sabonis more. Sabonis is $200 less on Fanduel. Tough matchup for Randall against the Jazz, so I like Sabonis here. I like Collins here more. Yeah, so I guess we can get into it. So what's the difference between the first two here? We only have a 0.15 projection difference, so that's pretty close. We got Simmons, Otto Porter, and Marvin Bagley versus Kobe White, Justin Holiday, and Domantas Sabonis. I probably like the second side more. You get Kobe White. He's 6'2". I like that price tag a lot. He's playing a ton of minutes, shooting the ball a lot, so I like him. And then Sabonis, obviously, I like as well. On the second side, Justin Holiday, someone I don't mind as a last piece. He saw like 44 minutes last game. Obviously, that was an overtime game, but still, if you take the overtime away, it's around 38 minutes. So I do like that. And then on the first side, Simmons, I don't mind him, 8.7 against the Wizards. But the main thing here that I don't like is Marvin Bagley for 4.8. Just don't want to touch him in cash games, really. Don't really want to touch him in tournaments either. I just think he's awful. And yeah, so I lead in the second side as of now.
Okay, some comments in the chat. Trigger likes the second one more as well. Hasty agrees. Now he says Sabonis is a better call. And Trigger also says that he likes Kelly Oubre.
Yeah, I like Kelly Oubre as well. He's 5'3".
We have him here in one of the top 10.
Yeah, so I don't mind Oubre. If his shot's falling, yeah, he can absolutely smash that price tag.
Fourth lineup is nice from Hasty. He likes this one. What do you think of the fourth one, Chris?
So we have Fox, CP3, Sexton, Heald Barrett, Holiday, Sabonis, Collins, Capela. So the difference between this one and the second one is White and Levine versus CP3 and Sexton. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's clearly the Bulls guys over here. Not really too big of a fan of CP3, just with Booker there, with Ayton there. He's not getting as many shots, but yeah, I don't mind this fourth lineup, but I definitely like the second one more.
Okay, let's go over, do the same thing on DraftKings. 1 second. Okay, who's your first core play on DraftKings today?
It's LaMelo Ball. He's only 6K, minutes trending upwards, so we project him for 33.2 DraftKings points, so I do like that a lot for 6K. Next up, I think PJ Washington from the same game. Just he's too cheap playing against the Hawks, 5K. Fits at power forward, so I like that. And then next up, Andre Drummond, 8.6. Just same thing as I always mention with my core plays, too cheap here. Yeah, I like that a lot. He does a little bit of everything, so as long as the game can stay competitive, he should smash. SGA is next, 7.3, I believe. That's a really good price tag for him. Obviously, he's looked pretty bad recently, so might scare a few people away, but I do like the price tag. I'll just buy into the talent. And then last up, we have Clint Capela. Mentioned him when I went over that game. Been seeing around 30 minutes, so that's nice for his price tag of only 6.7. I think he can definitely get to his projection of 37 today.
All right, let's hit build, see what happens.
Okay, so let's see. In these teams, we have our locks. Then Kelly Olynyk is actually popping up in a lot. I didn't lock him, but I do like him over on DK, assuming he's starting 4.4K. That's really cheap for him. What did he put up last game? Let me just check real quick in that last start.
Henry saying told you it was Kelly Smash.
Yeah, so 4.4K over on DK. That's too cheap. He put up 28 last game, played 28 minutes as well. So, yeah, definitely a lock for me if he's starting. Not sure if we've got that news yet. I don't think we have, but yeah, if he's starting.
Comment from Hasty about SGA. He's saying that he thinks teams load up on him now, and that's why he's struggling. Lots of eyes on him as the main guy there now.
Yeah, I've seen that a little bit when I've been watching the games, but like when the games stay close, he always has a decent performance. He hasn't hit a ceiling yet, but his 2 down games have been in blowouts. Against Miami, they lost by 30, and then against the Pelicans last time out, they lost by 30 as well. So as long as he gets like 34 minutes, I think he can definitely pay off this price tag on DraftKings at 7.3.
Okay, Trigger likes lineup 3 here. I guess what do you think of these builds here? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so the difference between all these is going to be the shooting guard small forward combo, just because everyone else is popping up in every build
except for Crowder here.
Yeah, but that lineup is projected for 3 points less than the first one, so that's a pretty drastic difference. So yeah, we have Hill, Middleton in one combo. I don't mind that. And then Sexton, Crowder, don't mind that either. Hill, Hayward, that's the one that was money, right? Or cash?
No,
yeah,
3, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so that one has Hayward versus Middleton, comparing it to the first one. Yeah, that's probably safer than Middleton, honestly, just because Middleton has some blowout potential. But I think Middleton also offers you a nice floor, so that's nice. What are their projections, Garry? Yeah, so we have Hayward for 38, Middleton for 39.2. I don't mind either of these guys, to be honest. Even the second one, I don't mind. Gets you away from George Hill, which is always nice in my opinion. Gets you Sexton, who I like today with no Garland, and then Crowder's fine for me today. I think his price tag is fair, so don't mind him as a last piece. But yeah,
Trigger also likes lineup 5 here.
Yeah, so this one's just Butler instead of Hayward or Butler instead of Middleton. Yeah, I mean it depends on, like, I think if you're going for a ceiling, I think Butler gives you that. I think the safest play is probably Middleton. They have a really nice implied team total at 119. He's been playing well. He's been shooting the ball a ton. So I do like Middleton. Yeah, I think it's probably between Butler and Middleton, honestly.
Yeah. Hasty saying he doesn't like George Hill. So if you weren't going George Hill, do they all have George Hill? It's like...
The second one doesn't.
Sexton. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some good options here without Hill.
Every game that's been competitive for the Thunder so far, George Hill has gotten at least 30 points. So I don't mind him for 4.5K on DraftKings. Obviously, you get the 3-pointer bonus. He shoots a ton of threes. That's where most of his points come from. So
yeah.
So yeah, I think he's a better play definitely on DraftKings. So I don't mind him as a last piece there in cash.
Okay. What do you want to do? Do you want to go over your plays of the day, your favorite play, your fade of the day, and then your GPP play?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's do that. Who do you have on Fanduel play of the day? Is your play of the day for both cash GPP just like your favorite player total? Safest
I think that makes sense. Yeah. So today I think it's Darren Fox. Playing against the Bulls, like I just love Darren Fox. I'm a big fan of his game in general. I think he offers you safety with a 40-point floor, and then obviously has upside here, like probably 50 to 60-point upside. So I do like him as my lock of the day, I guess, on FanDuel. And then on DraftKings, let me see. I think I'll go with let's go with LaMelo Ball, like 6K. I think that's really fair. He has upside for you in tournaments. I think his minutes are pretty safe, around 30 now, so I think he's safe in cash games. So yeah, I'm good with locking LaMelo Ball as my lock of the day on DraftKings.
Okay, and then your let's do fade first. Who are you gonna fade today? on Fanduel?
So the fate of the day is yeah. So it's for tournaments. Like most days, I'll probably have this guy in my cash lineup, but I think you can gain leverage on the field by fading him. Today, let's go with John Collins. Well, I think it's probably one of John Collins or Clint Capela. If you're playing tournaments on FanDuel, I would probably set a group to only have one of them in your lineup. But I'm gonna have both of them in my cash games most likely. But I think you can get away with fading one of them in your tournaments.
Okay, and then who do you have there fade of the day on DraftKings for tournaments?
Let's go with SGA. 7.3K. Like, we project him for 40 right now. There's definitely ways for him not to get there, but I love him in cash games for that price tag, but I think there's routes for him to fail. So yeah, let's go with SGA as my tournament fade of the day on DraftKings.
And then who is your favorite tournament play today on FanDuel?
Favorite tournament play of the day. Let me just... Okay, so yeah, I'll go with Ben Simmons. Really good matchup here against the Wizards, 8.7K. I like that a lot. So yeah, let's go with Ben Simmons over on FanDuel. And then on DraftKings, I think I can go with Jason Tatum. He's 9K there. I assume Marcus Smart will be out, so that helps him a little bit. So yeah, I do like Jason Tatum as my tournament play of the day over on DK.
Okay. Any other questions? We can go over those. Any big news today to left that we should like really eye on? Is it mostly Clippers side?
Yeah, it's the Clippers that we're waiting on.
Okay. Yeah, Hasty he really doesn't like George Hill today. He's saying. Okay, I think that's it. Anything else you want to cover, Chris?
No, I think we're good.
All right. If you guys enjoy this content, be sure to like the video, subscribe as well, hit the bell button so you stay notified. We go live 2 hours before main slate each and every day. And on top of that, if you guys like the projections optimized that you see us using throughout the show, you can head on over to dfscrunch.com. You get access to everything you saw today. You get access to our Discord as well. You get a 3-day free trial right now. We have that still up. I think we're going to stop that offer sometime in January. You get access to a bunch of sports still. NHL starting back up soon. NBA, NFL wrapping up. UFC, MMA coming back up. I'm excited for that. What else is there? Esports as well. What sports are you playing other than NBA, Chris?
I usually stick to the main stuff. So NBA, NFL, MLB when it's on. And then the one sport I don't really play, the one sport that's sort of niche that I play is MMA.
MMA? Okay. Hasty last comment says, thanks guys, you guys nailed it with the Kyrie call last night. He came out smoking hot, shooting everything, best first quarter all year. Was that the best quarter you've seen for the year, like for all players this year?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. He's asking, Hasty, will you guys have something for March Madness?
Like content, I guess maybe we can get Hasty on the show for March Madness, but yeah, we'll have projections for that.
Yeah.
Like we do. I guess we can get Hasty as the analyst for that.
We should definitely get Hasty on the show for March Madness. That'd be fun. We can do like a 3-way call there. That'd be good. If it happens, Hasty, ? Okay, yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck today, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll also see you in the Discord if you're a member, answering any questions there and bringing up any news that we have. So, yeah, see you guys tomorrow, and good luck.